Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:30. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up is to amend the agenda. Does anyone need to amend the agenda? Great. Next is approve previous minutes from our February 11th meeting. We would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 2/11/26.
A second.
Is there any discussion? Emma, how do you vote?
Aye.
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 Perfect. Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda? We're going to move right into new business. First up is action item, consider appointment to fill the remainder of select board term ending in 2027. We've been accepting letters of interest for the last 2 weeks. We received 2 letters, one from Heather Prebish, the other from Justin Austin. Heather made it through the interview, and Justin did not show up to his interview. So we have Heather with us tonight. And with that, I would like to make a motion to have Heather Prebish fill our vacant seat that will be up in 2020.
So you made the motion. Okay, I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Yes. Heather, do you want to talk a little bit about why you are willing to do this incredible, exciting task when we have so much just like, so everybody can kind of get an idea of who you are and what you're hoping to do on the select board while you're here, if you are in the role.
Absolutely. So first, thank you for the consideration for being on the board. And I have previously served on the board for approximately 6 years. I've also served on budget committees. I have lived in this community for about 16 years and am very invested in seeing positive things happen in this community. And so when I saw this opening, I decided to go ahead and throw my name in the ring, and happy to help and step in just to finish the term. I know that there is a lot going on currently, and I'd be happy and honored to be a part of serving in this position and assisting in moving this community forward alongside all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Other just
Anything else? All right. Emma, my dear, how do you vote? Aye. Jeffrey? Aye.
Aye.
Welcome back to the board, Heather. And with that, I'm going to excuse you for the rest of the meeting because I know that you are on vacation right now and I want you to be able to enjoy the rest of your night. But we are looking forward to having you at our next meeting.
Excellent. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to this opportunity and for serving the community. So I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Bye.
Next up is action item, consider approval of loan for replacement police department vehicle.
All right, so this is for a car that's in the scheduled rotation. It was part of the capital budget that we presented. It replaces the chief's car. And the amount is $72,000. The car, it's a Durango, was $43,000. The rest is the upfit. You know, the last car we bought that we paid for the upfit out of the capital budget. This is in the loan. It's a little more because the state police handles our police IT, and they had come through and do some updates to the various systems. 2 of the vehicle laptops were over 10 years old and would not accept the updates. So one of them will, so we're buying 2. We got 1 new car. We'll move the 2 oldest ones out and put a new one in the new car. The one that's in the chief's existing car is good. We can replace one of them with that. And the other one will go to replace the other one. So that's about a $12,000 thing on top for that system.
My memory could be wrong, but I thought we didn't have to get any more vehicles for the police department. I thought that's what we had said previously, but
Well,
I thought there had been
this is
talk
a,
about that.
we don't need to buy any additional ones, but this is a replacement. So
So
generally speaking, it's 5 to 6 years. The cars run out their system. And that's in the bottom part of the capital plan. It shows not just the police cars, but all of the highway trucks and stuff like that. And the expectation lifespan and when they're going to come back on and when the payments would start.
I guess my question was, had we talked about this before? And is my memory incorrect? It may be incorrect. I don't remember it coming up that we needed to replace a police car.
Well, when it would have come up was in the capital budget.
Okay. During the budget season, is that?
During the
what you're
budget
saying?
season, would the payments impact the upcoming budget, things like
Yeah,
that?
does anybody else recall this? I just don't. Not saying
don't
it's
remember.
correct. I just don't recall it.
I don't remember specifically. I do, I guess you would mentioning having like an additional car versus like swapping one out, which is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I think probably would have been a bigger discussion, but my question actually, since you asked, is you're saying the lifespan of the cars is about 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
How often are we replacing them? Are we replacing them every 5 to 6 years?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to like actually do this, but maybe we are more aggressive and say like we do it every like 8, but I don't know. Just because we're having a really tough time right now.
Yeah, I guess like, the tough time doesn't go away.
Yeah.
By not replacing the cars. It doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like 5 years, my Jeep out there is 14 years old. So, why are we doing it?
Well, what from what I remember in previous discussions is because they're used differently and y'all have to run them a lot to make sure they're ready to go. Or maybe that's the fire truck.
The cars get shared amongst officers, so they get a lot of use. They have to stay running when they're in use because of all the electronics that's in there. It drains the batteries. And on occasion, they're driven harder than the average person would. So it's not uncommon to have, more significant repairs in the latter years. And we saw that particularly when we were having a hard time getting cars through the whole COVID thing. This car also comes with a 5-year extended warranty for all the big stuff. So because of some of our prior experiences, we went with that. I would say it would not be unusual not to remember the conversation because in some communities, including this one, cars were kind of like the big community conversation because everybody buys them. Everybody has an experience. I remember one year we were buying a diminutor for the wastewater treatment plant and it's $45,000. So, well, if we need a diminutor, let's get one. Nobody knows what one is. But if we're saying we need one, we need a new police car. Well, we getting them Chevys? Are we going to go with Dodge? Why are we going with Dodge? Everybody's got that. How much you paying? And we go through the state bid price and the state bid said the maximum we'll pay. And oftentimes we get a value below so we go out and shop the price. And it's just kind of a routine thing. The cars are coming up to get replaced. So we go out, we find the cars. Once we find the car, we go shop the financing. We shop the financing. That's where we are. The new car comes in. Unless it's white, it looks like the old cars and it keeps going.
So you said the car is 42 and then 12,000 on top of that. And so we're looking at 72?
43 and 12 is 72.
43 and 12.
I'm going to stop. The 12,000 extra is because we have to buy extra computers. Yeah. So I think it was 31,000 for the last car that was all the expenses for the car. So it's painting it or wrapping it like a police car, all the lights that have to go in it, all the other electronics, the radios, all that kind of stuff. And anywhere we can, we swap out the old for the
Sure.
new, but we still have to strip out and then reinstall.
But I thought you said we needed 72,000
Right, it's 43,000 for the car.
car,
We'll say.
12,000 around. Yeah, for the
skip-
computers.
skip that, it's 43 for the car. Say 30, we'll say in this case, like about 25 for everything that's the electronics, not the computers.
Okay,
That's what it
Okay.
costs to buy a police car. You buy the car, then you take it to a company that specializes in putting all the lights and all that. That's somewhere around 18 to 30,000, depending on how fancy you want to get.
well,
And
now
we
I
don't-
know where you got it from. I didn't understand when you had the 43 and the 12.
I know, and I was sarcastic, and I think that's part of the, because I deal with this all the time. I'm telling you about what's different. What's different is we're buying two computers. That buying the two computers is adding about 13,000 to the cost. So not to the cost of the car, but to the cost of the entire outfit. So the 72 is the car, outfitting it like a regular police car, plus extra computers for who don't have working computers.
What about trade-in value? Don't we normally get it, trade-in? Get something from that?
We do, and when the whole final thing comes, we'll only pay for the money we have. What I'm thinking is Bill's on vacation. And more clarification. If you go out in the parking lot, there's a car with a bunch of snow on top of
The
it.
black.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's, I think, like a 2005 or 7 that we would use for surveillance. It's an unmarked car, so that's what it would get used. It doesn't run. That one's going away and we're getting a few $1,000s for it. So I have to confirm with Bill if it's not like a direct replacement, but we're getting, this is what, no, we get rid of the worst car. And then the other one may turn into, again, like the surveillance car or a car that gets used for other things. It's not everyday police work. And we just keep the fleet more up to date. It's not like with the highway trucks, we buy a truck, we get rid of the truck. So, this is for the cost to do the whole thing. And what we've done in the past, if we do decide to trade in something else, we take the money and we put it in the capital fund.
But at this point, you don't know if we're trading in anything
Yeah,
else because bills are not around right at the moment.
Bill's not around and when I was asked last time, my assumption was we were.
Mhm.
And I didn't have the direct conversation, but I had the conversation about that junker out there.
Right.
So we're not adding anything to the fleet, but Bill's getting a new car. The chief's car, generally speaking, is the easiest used car because that is driven more like a personal car. And then that can go in to become, it's outfitted the same way as a cruiser. That can become the worst cruiser we have becomes the spare or undercover car and like that.
Okay. I feel like that's a bit confusing to me. I don't know about anybody else, but all right.
Keep asking questions.
Well, how many cars do we actually have? Like
I
in
think 5.
5?
I'm gonna change it to 6 because we have that
That,
Crown Vic.
oh, no, that's not, Crown Vic is besides that one.
Right, the Crown Vic is like the parade car that we
Yeah.
got for free and it's
It's in storage, right?
it's out of storage.
It's out of storage.
And I used for something the other day. I think we had 2 cars down at the same time, so they got it running and we're using a school resource officer. So we have the black Charger that's out there. We have the chief's car, that's 2. And then we have 3 cars that the staff of 9 use. So that's 5. And then we have the 1 spare. That's,
Are you thinking of that one?
no,
No.
I'm thinking of the one that
It
is,
looks like a regular
Yeah.
police car.
so, and part of it is, like I said, it's 3 cars for 9 officers. They all go in for fairly regular maintenance. So there's, something gets switched out. Nobody takes a car home other than the chief. So they're all sitting here. And that's just been the standard model for quite some time.
So this is not a change. This is not a change in how we manage things.
No, it's just, we keep track of the fleet. One of the officers is responsible for we'll say fleet maintenance, like keeping up on when things are due or recalls are done, to arrange the services and to arrange what cars get used in place of that. And once again, asking the questions are good because for me, it's just another day at the office.
So this money was in the capital fund when we talked about the budget. It was earmarked for this.
Yes,
Kind of. Okay.
the expectation for the payment. Yeah.
Okay. As long as we had talked about it and kind of had it in there.
Well, I would certainly say that this budget season, there wasn't a lot of detail about line item discussions. It was, and we didn't change anything. Like the whole budget was one more year of what we just did. And
So that's why I don't
we,
remember it.
well, right, and
per
we,
se, yeah.
and, the car that we bought probably in October, that we bought the car, but I didn't put in the budget this year for the $30,000 upfit. So there was a vote to take that money from the capital fund, which there was money there for that. But we had done this exact same thing like in October. So for me, it's, you guys have been around, we're just buying cars, selling cars. We're not wrecking cars. We do a little.
Yeah, that would be a good thing, not to wreck them.
So I'll make the motion to approve the loan for the replacement police department vehicle.
I'll second it.
Is there any more discussion? Mary, how do you feel? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passed. Next up, action item, consider approval of water and sewer capital fund policy.
Okay.
Oh, next.
We read online.
Yes.
This is it. You have one, a hard copy around here somewhere. It was in the packet. There is, there was a typo in the one that went out. It's fixed in this. So much like the capital and reserve fund policy for the general fund, this is for the water and sewer funds, each separately. So every year we contribute something to those capital funds, and those funds are then used for, we'll say big repairs, but not like replacing sewer mains. It's things like a $45,000 diminutor or something that breaks in a sub $100,000 range. And there's a lot of parts like that. There hasn't been a policy specifically for that, but this codifies what we've been doing. The typo was, it says target level. The town shall strive to maintain an unrestricted fund balance for its enterprise funds of approximately $1 million. And that is each. So the water fund targets $1 million, the sewer fund. And before it read to be more like $1 million total. And right now we have 1.2 million. So I said, we've agreed we don't have enough money, particularly if bonding gets more expensive. So it would be very difficult to support adding to that if you just pass a policy that says we're already in excess of it. So $2 million would be the number that can be revisited at any time. And then importantly on the other side, the 750,000 is.
So is this correct or not correct?
It is correct.
Each, it should say
Yes.
each.
Right.
I might need you to explain that to me like I'm a third grader.
Okay.
So sorry, Thomas. Thank you.
That's all right. So the general fund is what runs the town.
Yes.
The water and sewer utility funds are called enterprise funds.
Okay.
And they're handled a little bit differently just because it's different. The bills go out, money comes back in. It's not taxation so much, it's customer use. So the auditing world and government says those are enterprise funds. So every year, the select board votes on the budget. It doesn't go to the public. The water and sewer funds get voted on the select board. And we have a list of operating expenses, like the regular budget, and we have money for that. And then we have contributions to the capital reserve. This year, we had a pretty big discussion about increasing it to 200,000 each. for water or 200,000 for water and 200,000 for sewer. Because we had been spending some money and there's certainly a very long list of things that are very old. So if there's an interest in being not so dependent on borrowing to do that system maintenance, if you got up to a healthy $1 million in each and continue to put a couple $100,000 a year in, you could then easily plan without having an additional impact on rates to replace a $300,000 pump station electrical system or something like that. So that is the policy that has been going on, even well before my time when the town didn't have much money in the general fund. The boards had always been supportive of keeping some cash on hand in the water and sewer department. So what this is saying is the capital funds for each of those departments is important. And there should be a target, because if you put too much in, you're basically putting money in your savings account instead of the taxpayers or ratepayers savings. But you can't let it go to nothing in an effort to not raise rates, because eventually it comes back in maintenance stuff. So what this does is puts a document in place that future managers, future board members can say, why are we doing this? We say, well, the board voted to do it, and we have 1.3 million. So we're voting to put another 200,000 in this year, and we're going to spend some money, and everybody's got the rule book to put it in place. And this is part of what Natalia's been going through. And, a lot of it is her learning through the school of hard knocks when, Ron, passed away and wasn't available. And when she would ask me, I said, well, this is just how we do it. She goes, well, how would I know that? I said, well, ask me. So she goes, I'm going to write this down. So there's some other ones coming. Like I said, this is the second one. They don't represent a change in the way things are done. It just represents a rule.
It's like an SOP, a standard operating procedure.
There you go.
Okay. So we're not saying, oh my gosh, we're putting in $1 million, we're putting $2 million into the fund next year. We're saying that's our goal, is to get to $1 million in each one.
Right.
Okay.
It's a savings account. So how much are you going to put in every year?
Okay.
How much do we have now?
It's about $1.2 million total
For both.
both. Right. So, and again, that's why I was saying you can't have, it's
Right,
just
right.
how it reads before, and it says, again, it may be just being familiar with it. The town shall strive to maintain an unrestricted fund balance for its enterprise funds of approximately $1 million. So I forget if it was a comma or it's like the enterprise funds means we have more than one. And that was it says the enterprise fund. So it sounded like $1 million, but we have funds, so we need $2 million.
So strive is the key word there.
Because we're not saying we're
We don't
committing
have it now.
or
Right.
whatever it is, 800,000.
Every year the board does it.
That's just, and so next budget season, we will say, okay, how much do we want to put in there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, yeah,
I'm comfortable with that
Okay.
too.
Yeah, and
thank you.
when like, let's say something's in the charter and you write shall, it means that's what you're going to do. If you write may, it tells you you probably should, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
If you strive, that takes another little edge off the thing. So I think that's meant to reflect every budget year is different, presents different challenges. And if you're somewhere in the middle of the sweet spot, you're good. But if you're like down at 620,000 and you're saying,
Yeah.
we don't want to save anything, don't do that.
Okay, well, as a person that in my professional life currently, I am writing SOPs and it's terrible to say thank you to Natalia because I know that they are very important and they are also terrible. So tell her thank you, please.
Will do. Well, I will if you pass it.
Well, I move to pass this
Plan.
plan, policy.
I second that.
Is there any more discussion? Emma, how do you vote?
I
Aye.
I,
Excellent.
don't know.
We have another action item to consider appointments of the town clerk and the town moderator.
Okay. So every year, the town moderator presides over the town meeting. And the term is for a year. not a year and a day. So somebody gets appointed, they are the moderator at the upcoming town meeting, but the term expires before the next upcoming meeting. So Andy Tufts has done it for the last few years. So this is a request from the board to appoint Andy to do it yet again. And as far as Donna Swaney as the town clerk goes, we do not currently have an elected town clerk or an elected treasurer. So given with the voting in the elections, Donna has done this before where she says she's willing to officially be the town clerk if there's something that needs to be signed or some action that needs to be taken by that title that can happen in conjunction with Wiley. So Donna will work the polls, probably again, when there's voting in November or August, if there's a primary. And they're both done it before and experienced.
I make a motion that we appoint Donna and, Donna and Andy to fulfill these roles.
And second,
Is there any discussion? Mary, how do you vote? Aye.
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 Next up, action item, consider approval of application to VMMB in the amount of $100,000.
Here's something that certainly could be confusing. We can talk about bonding all the time and I say we need to sign something, we don't need to sign something. So the board has already voted to submit a bond application to the Vermont Bond Bank for an amount of $115,000. When we put the application in, when the attorneys are working on the application now, I guess the bond bank said, you know what, it'd be a lot easier for us if you would make it 100,000, not 115. And just the backside of how this works is municipalities and the state government all pool their bond market submissions, saves us probably $30,000 to $40,000 every time we bond, but they put them all in together. So there are attorneys at this state, and we have a special attorney that just handles the bonds. They put everything in and aggregate it, and then they don't want to have a clunker in there that's going to bring down everybody else in the pool kind of thing. So they go through all the terms of everything. So Natalia and I really aren't sure, other than it's easier with round numbers. So this is just not additional. This is changing the amount to 100,000 from 115. So a motion, so that there's clarity in whatever we submit, for the board to vote to approve the submission of a bond application to the Vermont Bond Bank in the amount of $100,000 would be appreciated.
I will make the motion.
I will ask a question. We can make a motion, then I can. I'll second it, yeah.
Okay, and then discussion? Jim?
Discussion. Is the fire truck, the ladder truck included in it? It can't be included in this because it's not enough money, right?
Two different things happen.
Okay.
The first step, if you want to bond something, is go to the town and at town meeting and get a public vote to say, we would like to incur long-term debt for this purpose. That's like what the fire truck is.
Okay.
That's what happened with where this money is coming from several years ago. What this is being used for is paving that we didn't get done last year down on Depot Avenue and Park and Ride. So we already got the public authorization. So now the board has to vote to say, all right, we know we're allowed to do it, but do we want to do it now and for how much? So there's $650,000 remaining on this particular bond authorization. So then it comes to the board, you do that, and then twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, the state goes to Wall Street, they sell their municipal bonds, the money then becomes available to us, and we spend it. The typical, like last meeting we talked about, well, what about Central Street? Like there's no money in this for Central Street, but we do have bond authorization to pave Central Street. We don't have enough to do the whole big reconstruction. So what will happen is the spring, once we determine what I assume is gonna happen is we're not gonna be able to do a big reconstruction this year, but when we do want to make the road better. So the board would vote to say, we want to spend, we'll go out and get bids to say, we want a 4-inch grind and overlay. And they'll say, okay, that's 96 or 113,000 or something like that. And we'll get the bids, come to the board and say, do you want to do this? So you vote to accept the bid. The next step then is we go to the bank, not the bond bank, but just a local bank, and say, we have bond authorization and we have a vote of the board to do this construction project. We would like a bond anticipation note. And then we borrow money to pay for the project. When the fall bond authorization comes, we'll know exactly, how much we've spent. And then we go to the bond bank and say, we need this much money. And then we have to tell the bond bank, we will pay off the bond anticipation note. It's not extra money, it replaces money. So those are all the steps along the way. That's what was done last year. We expected to go to the fall bond offering, but we didn't because the paving wasn't done quite yet. And then there was some new people involved in all this, and I'm not going to say the rules changed, the enforcement of some of the rules changed. So we're here now.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Emma, how do you vote? Aye.
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 That has passed.
Okay.
One more action item. Consider ratification of ASB's contract.
Yep, as I've explained at recent meetings, we have two unions here, the AFSCME, that represents everybody but the elected people, management, and police, and then we have a police contract. Both of them are expire on June 30th. So we've been working with AFSCME for the past, since around December is when we started talking. We didn't start meeting until a couple of weeks ago. When AFSCME came to the town, they requested that we split the AFSCME contract into two units, one for the fire department, one for everybody else. And our position was, sure, as long as it's okay on you, we don't want to get involved with infighting. Why did they get something that we didn't get, kind of thing. So when they showed up, everybody said they were in full agreement. They think it's a good thing because there's different needs for those kind of things. So we moved forward with splitting the contract and then negotiating the points of view. We're going to have an executive session to talk about that. While we are at a point where we have agreement, we are not at a point for the board to vote on it. So the expectation is we'll have this conversation about the terms of the contract in executive session, take that information, codify it in a document, and at the next meeting or meeting after that, since we got till June 30th before anything happens, go back through.
I'll make a motion that we,
You don't have to do anything.
no, okay,
Oh,
so the
okay.
action item.
Yeah, we're not ready to vote on them.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what I think.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Perfect.
Okay.
So then we're going to move into old business with the town manager search process. The only update we have is we're getting ready to meet with Dominic, our consultant, at the beginning of January, possibly at our next, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, March.
So it's backwards.
We're not going backwards. The beginning of March, we'll be meeting with him and he'll be filling us in on our first round of interviews. So,
And that will be the
Coming down
business
to
meeting, the
pipeline.
10th,
yeah,
select board meeting.
I'm waiting for him to respond if I believe we have a meeting on the 11th.
Oh, the 11th.
And he had asked to meet around the 10th. So I said, how's the 11th sound?
I think he did respond to that.
Oh,
I don't know.
All right,
I
I'll check it out.
understood that he was coming onto that meeting.
perfect.
So,
Excellent.
And the ad's out there and it closes Friday.
The 27th, correct?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So there's going to be more news coming down the pipeline very soon. We also have the riverfront neighborhood housing with executive session to follow.
Okay, and that is just on an update, they're still working on the houses. The expectation is, a month from now, the new ones will be, we'll shoot for sometime in April, for occupancy one way or the other. The existing house at 38 Jarvis, the tenant is leaving at the end of the month. It's currently being listed for rent, $16.50 a month. So what the intention is to discuss an executive session, and this falls under property negotiations, and putting out in public what your intentions are may not be the strongest position to be in, but to discuss what some of the options are, what that money would look like. And then when the board decides what to do, that would be a public vote. And if that's possible, that there could be a public vote following the executive session this evening or not. It can just be, give us 2 weeks to think about it, or you can give me direction to find more information.
All right. Is there a town manager's report, or was that not supposed to?
Oh, no, I'm not doing them anymore.
Oh. right.
Between all of this stuff, the contracts and town meeting coming up, there's nothing new that hasn't been discussed at prior meetings. So.
Okay. Well, do we have a motion to sign the order?
Make a motion to sign orders.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Mary? Aye. Aye. Send those orders down. Are there?
Just to give you some directions here. This thing here, this is the bond documentation. It's got a lot of stickies. Some places it's signed on any of the lines, other places it's signed next to your name. So just pay attention to that one. This is the water and sewer policy. Your names are next to that one. I'll just pass around the sign sheet. There's another lot of one. This is the loan for the car. A lot of stickers on that as well. And then there is the warrant. You can sign on the front, the documents are behind.
Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda? How about board member comments? Miss Emma?
I don't have any.
This doesn't look like everybody has to sign.
I have none either. I don't have any.
Oh, somebody does.
Not,
Right, yeah, not
I'm
every,
excited for Heather to join the board and to help us get through the rest of the town manager hiring. And that's all I've got.
sorry, I didn't catch up with you.
bring me back coffee.
I brought back so many beads. So.
That was my question.
I think I saw you on one of the live cams on Bourbon Street.
I was on Bourbon Street briefly, but I was wearing a mask, so.
You can tell.
No, there's actually a law that when you're riding on a Mardi Gras float, if you take off your mask, you get a $500 fine. And it's not a $500 fine from like the crew that you're in, it's from the city of New Orleans.
What's the reasoning
Wow.
behind that?
Magic.
Okay.
Well, during this dead space, maybe you could tell me, they have a great World War II museum in it.
They do. That's a great question, Tom. I don't know. I think I don't have any idea.
Okay. Well, I went to it. It was really
I
impressive.
want to say it has something to do with Tom Hanks, but I don't know if I can truthfully say that. I know Tom Hanks has done several things with the World War II Museum. I went to a really lovely party there, actually.
I'll Google it, but I wanted to hear it from a
She's
person.
gone, I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah. I didn't want you to read
you should go back. You should go to, have you ever gone on a swamp tour?
Yeah.
a couple times.
I don't think I need to sign that.
We had tickets on a swamp boat, and then we saw two guys that were all muddy with airboats. And we said, how much would it cost for you guys to take us instead of getting on this like tourist one?
Yeah.
Scared the bejesus out of me. I didn't know. The guy was going straight for land and it just goes over the land and he does like these real, I mean, it was like a deliverance thing.
I did one too, but it was on a tourist boat, but we pull up really close to the alligators and look at them.
That was like really little.
And they have like wild boars and they feed them all hot dogs. And I think,
Oh, I've never seen a wild boar.
you know,
After this one, I see a sticker.
Where'd everybody go except for John? How you doing, John?
We're getting there.
Doing well, Tom. Doing well, thank you.
Hey, you've been here. You just interested in democracy?
Yes, I am. Very much so. Yeah, and just been talking to Greg Blanchard and just want to keep up on what he's up to, and what's going on with the town in that respect. So
Okay. Well, he's got people all over town doing all kinds of stuff. So as long as he keeps working on our houses, that's good.
yes, he is. Yes, he does stay busy.
Yep.
I get to help him every now and then, but
Well,
it's fun work.
good.
also went to the New Orleans Children's Museum 3 times with Milo.
Where did he go?
The Children's Museum. And twice we were there for 5 hours just because he was like, Mom, I want to play with somebody that is not an adult. And I was like, that's legitimate. So we made friends.
The aquarium is great.
There's so many.
The aquarium is really great,
Yeah.
but
It's kind of like, my kids get so used to going to those things.
it's
cool back
downtown.
there.
You
Yeah.
have to go, and the Children's Museum is like very close to Raising Cane's.
Oh, that's the first
You
part
guys go down there a lot?
that goes in with them, but we don't have to. sign
Seemed
it,
like we
but it
spent a
was-
lot
yeah,
of those,
okay.
our vacations.
Oh.
down there
Tom, what have you
visiting
been looking
in-laws. Yes, grab.
All right, so we, it's
Mhm.
we're
That
Yeah,
one.
done this an awful long time. Can we go somewhere?
Uh-huh.
And I will make a motion to go into executive session, 1 VSA 313, the negotiating or securing of real estate purchase options, vote to be taken following the session, and B, labor relation agreements with employees if needed. We would need a second.
This way,
We would need a second.
somebody second that.
I second.
Is there any discussion? Emma, how do you vote?
Aye.
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 Now we're in executive.